Hey all, it's Chase from the All Blue Crew. Today we're looking at match number 3, or round number 3 of my Enel adventure against Red Purple Law here. Pretty interesting matchup, honestly pretty favored in the Enel side, as long as Enel can kind of control the early game and then take over with the late game here. I am going second. I do think I won the die roll, so I ended up taking Law off second, forcing him to go first. Now, a lot of Laws have kind of adapted to that. Some of them are running that 3-drop Zoro or 3-drop Zoro Juro to kind of give them that odd curve as well. My goal here with this game is to try to hit as many Onamis off the top of my life here. That would be the dream, but this Law is pretty smart already. Going to go ahead and swing 5 into my lead, basically preventing me from getting any trigger. I'm just going to go ahead and give him a Shirahoshi while I can here, and then he does play the Zoro Juro. I was hoping to hit an Onami, not an Onami. Really could use an Onami right now. That'd be pretty awesome. That's kind of what we're hoping, rubbing our hands together, hoping we hit something decent out of life. I already have an Onami in hand. Ended up keeping this second hand here. I think the first hand was a mulligan. Pretty decent. Do have some counter to work with, though I'm missing some key cards like Gadatsu or the Rocket Luffy, allowing me to control the board. So I'm going to try my best to control the board. Again, the biggest feedback or the biggest advice I could give you into Red Purple Law is do not feed the Law. Put a little sign, right? Go ahead, go home, 3D printed little sign that says do not feed the Law. Set it right next to their life because you do not want to hit the Law at all. Hitting the Law turns off your Gadatsus. Hitting the Law gives Law resources, so we want to avoid hitting the leader here as much as possible, and instead I'm just going to go for board. So that's what I did that last turn and swung 9k into Zoro. Sure, the Law could counter out of it, but that's 2Ks and a 1k from hand just to get out of that's 3 cards minimum. So that would have I would have been happy with that as well, right? Getting cards out of the Law's hand is not a bad idea as either. A Law sitting at the 5-down turn could typically expect a Kid blocker here, or a Queen or something like that to kind of establish, the mid presence, right? Nice thing about Kid blocker or Queen is that they cannot be killed by Gadatsu or my Rocket Luffy. So pretty solid card in the matchup here, and it does just get them a lot of value. Queen draws them cards. The Kid blocker just gets them Dawn back, and that is active that they can use to pressure my life. The opponent here kind of fumbling with the Dawn here, deciding that he wants to go ahead and swing 7k lead. That tells me that no Kid's coming down this turn, but potentially a 3-drop. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Really was hoping to not see an Onami that time, because what a wasted trigger that would have been. And then he just passes, which has got me wondering what's his hand kind of looking like. Potentially he has a lot of 4-drops in his hand, and instead he was just trying to push damage. Maybe he didn't have the Kid blocker, or maybe he's fearing, a Gadatsu from my side, something like that. I am on my 6-Dawn turn. I do have a Enel in hand, but a Enel is not very good when you're going on even curve here. So I just have to force to kind of use a Shirahoshi here to find some better cards. I do end up hitting a Gadatsu. I do have 2 Enels in hand already, and then finding an ace. So that Gadatsu is definitely staying in hand, and you're trying to decide what I want to get rid of. The Maru, not so, it's decent in this matchup, but really it's for like the Rebecca, right, the black matchups. Or like the blue matchups to try to, give rest bodies so I can, KO and clean up board. Potentially was going to discard the Onami for a second there, but I could potentially set myself up to like Onami and the Katakuri later on to put a Katakuri into my life. It's like a guaranteed KO trigger, but instead we're going to go ahead and discard the Enel there, going down to 1 Enel in hand. Again, Enel is really good, right? Enel is great into Red Purple Law. Red Purple Law has to use at least 2 sources of resources, or unless they run Fire Fist, to set Enel down to 3,000, and then they can bottom deck it. But then Enel just lets me trash my life to save it, right? Because if Enel would leave play, whether it's KO, whether it's an effect, I just get to trash a life and save it. So it's pretty great into both Red Purple Law and the black matchups here. Opponent going to 7 Dawn here. Law at 7 Dawn is a little scary. Especially into when I gave him such an easy target to bottom deck here. He's going to go ahead and send 7 again at lead here. Debating if I wanted to take it and pulling that Flampe to the front of the hand here. Don't know if I want to go to 1 just yet. And I could just, cash in this Onami, cash in this 2k, because I doubt he's going to hit me any harder this turn. We'll see here, though. So I think, definitely want to try to save triggers here. See if we got maybe something on top of the deck. Opponent goes ahead and taps. 4 Dawn, probably going to play out, a Kid Killer. Kid Killer is going to come in. I am at 2 life, so he's going to swing 7k plus 1, 8k, and then boom, that was not a trigger. Straight to hand. I would have loved it. Again, see an Onami there. He's going to go ahead and bottom deck, potentially my Shirahoshi, I'm already thumbing it. Like, yeah, you know you want to bottom deck this. It's a free bottom deck, right? Anytime you play anything under it's like 3,000 and lower, Law's just got a free bottom deck opportunity. You're gonna go ahead and play my favorite Reiju alt art. Love that card. Such a good card, and gonna go ahead and give them some value. I love seeing that card. I have the alt arts as well in my red purple alt deck, because in my theory is if you have alt arts in your deck, you're more likely to draw them. Now, that may not be incredibly accurate, but I will say my Kidding Killers are not alt art, and I don't tend to see them at nearly as often as maybe I should, so maybe that's the key here. But who knows? Alright, gonna go ahead and attach to lead here. Gonna go ahead and swing 8k. We're gonna threaten the Kidding Killer here. Try to get something out of hand. Maybe try to get some counter out of hand, or just let the Kidding Killer die, because that is an 8k swing into 5k. And then I've got that Gadatsu in hand that I can KO something. They go ahead and give me 2/2ks. I am not upset about that though. But now they get to save one character on the board, because the Gadatsu would have come in and cleaned up the Reiju if they had let the Kidding Killer die. Instead, I got 2/2ks out of hand, which I'm not upset about either. So Reiju's still on the board. Opponent at 2 bodies, right? Potentially have to feign a rush body here if they want to go for lethal, but I have so many cards in my hand at this point that I'm really not that afraid now. The only thing I am afraid of is the purple Law blocker, which if I have 7 or more cards in hand, he can don -1 and make me discard 2 of those at random. I would not like to see that happen, right? He could potentially hit a lot of my late game here that I'm trying to get to, right? That's kind of the goal against red purple Laws. Control the early game, control the mid game, and then play your big boys late game and just keep healing. So opponent here at 6 Don, potentially thumbing 2 Don again, wants to keep sending 7s, potentially gonna go ahead and send looks like a 6 into lead here with Reiju. I do have a grip, right? It looks like I've got at least 3 2Ks. We're gonna go ahead and 2K out of that one. Don't want to feed any free life just yet. Gonna go ahead and see a Gordon come in. Gordon's going to -3,000 on my Gadatsu. Rest in peace, Gadatsu. Nice knowing you, buddy, but you're going to the bottom of the deck. And we'll play out a Reiju bottom decking. Alright, no, he's just playing out the Reiju to potentially see if he can get some additional tools here that he could put into play off the bottom deck. If I'm going to go ahead and -3 bottom decking my Gadatsu. Rest in peace, Gadatsu. You got beat by Chopper in the show, so you get what you get. Alrighty, going to go ahead and play a Bon Clay. Bon Clay is a huge threat in this matchup against me, because I just have so many high drops, and that Bon Clay can just copy anything. So that Bon Clay will be guaranteed to hit me pretty hard. I make a whoopsie oopsie here, and I resolve half the effect of Enel, right? I take the hit, I discard the card, but then I just don't gain the life. We go ahead and fix that there, because again, this is locals. I went ahead and did half the effect, so I really should get the rest of the effect. That was a little whoopsie on my side. I'm getting a little eager here as I was going into my 10 Don turn. This is the opportune time to ace somebody, potentially. I do have 2 aces at hand, but man, that Bon Clay is going to make my life miserable. So I'm actually going to thumb that Katakuri here. Katakuri could potentially put Bon Clay on the bottom of their life. That gets rid of a problem here, because if I play out the ace, swing, at their Reiju, potentially they're just going to copy the 10,000 power with their Bon Clay. Instead, I'm going to kind of commit to the Katakuri play. We're going to go ahead and swing 7k at the Reiju here, trying to get them to get more cards out of hand. They do end up giving me a 2k and a 1k, and then we're going to Katakuri that Bon Clay out of there. Get that Bon Clay out of there. Bon Clay is a menace. He's a menace against Enel. So I've already got another Katakuri in hand, potentially to get rid of another Bon Clay. So we're feeling pretty good right now. But if they play another one, I am ready. I'm prepared. But opponent's up to 5 life here, which means my Gadatsus can KO anything they can play except for the Sanji blocker. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Pretty good. Resource-wise, the Law still has quite a few cards in hand, at least 4 cards in hand, and they have been willingly countering out of things to kind of keep their board going. They do have 3 characters on board. I am at 1 life. I do have one heck of a grip as well as a decent amount of counter. Looks like I got 2 0-cost events in hand as well, so just a lot to work with. He's going to go ahead and send 5 at lead. I'm going to 2k out of it. He's going to go ahead and send 5 at lead again. I do debate to take this. I am thumbing that 2k. We're going to go ahead and take it, and we do not hit a trigger, but we hit a Yamato, which is pretty great. I'm going to go ahead and flip the leader over, and we're going to gain a life and discard a card from my hand. What am I discarding? Probably going to be that ace here, or no, the Katakuri. So we're giving up on the potential of handling another Bon Clay, but that Yamato coming into hand is pretty legit. So I'm going to go ahead and 2k counter the last Reiju hit, and then, yep, Mr. Bonclay, hello, hello, welcome back. Another threat, and then Zorojuro. So that Bonclay, man, that Bonclay's got to go. So I think this turn is just going to be a pretty simple, maybe 6k into Reiju, and then Yamato. So that's a pretty simple play. Yamato's going to clean up that Bonclay, 6k into one Reiju, 8k into another Reiju, could potentially clean up the Reiju. So he's only got 2 cards in hand. He's probably not willing to give me any more cards from hand at this point, just because he's running so low on resources. We'll send 8k there with Katakuri. And then we're going to play probably one of my most favorite cards in this matchup, and that is Yamato. Yamato's going to come in. We have 6 life total, so I can KO a 6 or less, which is anything in their deck at this point. Yamato's going to give me 1 life as well. And then opponent's going up. Opponent has like 9 Dawn here. I'm a little afraid, but I'd be a little more afraid if he still had a full board here. Zorojuro and a Law Leader. Not too afraid of that arrangement here. Again, the goal of this specific matchup is just to starve them out, right? Anytime they play something, I kill it. If they swing with it, I either take the hit, you know, get a new life, or counter out of it. And then, oh my goodness, Mr. Bonclay number 3. This is getting a little tedious here. So I just managed to power through 2 Bonclays, and now they show me a kid as well. And I'm really afraid of that Bonclay here. He's going to go ahead and send 6 into lead, and he's going to do a big no-no, which is what you don't do against yellow players. He played out his board and then swung. I do hit the Rocket Luffy off the top. I think that was a little gesture for myself, getting pretty excited about that. Finally, you know, I've been praying for an Onami off the top of my life this whole time, and I never hit a single one. But finally, we hit something when it matters. And Red Purple unfortunately gets punched with that. If they instead swung with lead first, maybe we wouldn't have ran into this situation. But now I don't have to worry about that. The Bonclay menace here, thumbing another Katakuri that I picked up here. That Katakuri is going to come in. It's going to take Kid, and it's going to throw him to the bottom of the life. It's going to give him an old Shanks 1-2 punch, send that boy away. And we're going to go ahead and send 5 at lead here. Going to start feeding a little bit, right? You know, he can have a little snack, a little treat, right? It's after dinner. I've already served him a full course meal of a full-on smackdown. He can have a little bit of a snack here. And so I'm just going to slowly just throw some food his way. But we're not ready to give him a second dinner just yet, because I want to see what else he's going to do here. I am at 1 life. It could potentially bait him into thinking he can have some kind of satisfaction with a, you know, Zoro or a Kid Killer from hand, as well as stacking a bunch of Dawn. But I still have 5 cards in hand. I am feeling pretty good right now. Got a pretty full board here. Can get ready here for the smackdown. Kind of the goal with Enel is, again, build the board, build a big board. They can't handle it, and then just clear their board, run them out of resources, and then just go to, you know, just slap them a few times in the final turn to end the game, while they're low on resources, and while you have some knowledge of what's in their life, right? So I know they have at least 2 1Ks in life, and then 3 mystery cards here. They're going to go ahead and attach. Looks like they're thumbing some Dawn here. Going to potentially go 9k, 9k lead with Zorojuro. Okay, that's a little annoying. Whatever, I'm just going to take it. It's another ace, man. Tell me what. I have hit so many aces out of life here. I'm going to potentially just throw an ace to the void here. Say, all right, I've got enough aces. Okay, let's see something cool coming off the top. All right, he's going to go ahead and send 10k at lead. Because I have an ace in hand, I'm very incentivized to take this hit. And we see another ace. Like, what are the odds? Like, I've seen all 4 aces. The aces just want to hang out in the life. He wants to live, guys. He wants to live. But Oda said no, turned him into a donut. And then he's going to play the blocker Lol. That's the card I was afraid of, but we're so late in the game right now. My hand is not very large. At the time, it was 6 cards, so we couldn't discard anything out of hand. Here, we're going to just clean up a little bit. We're going to go and send 8 at Zorojuro. He did take it back, thinking maybe he wanted to block with his Law, but nah, that's probably not worth doing. For Zorojuro by itself is just a 4k attacker. It manages to drop some Dawn on the way out. But here, thumbing that 10 cost ace. Oh, baby, slap it down. Come on, you can do it. That's probably the best play at this point. I maybe 10 cost ace into maybe feeding him a little bit, right? Because we do want to kind of end the game, right? You know, we could stall forever, but we do just kind of want to end the game here and maybe try to bait him into blocking, but it's very unlikely he's going to block at this point, right? Every time I feed him, it's a resource. Have a snack. One for you, my friend, on the house. Yamato's serving it up, and then, again, thumbing that ace. Definitely going to play that ace, just depending on when to play the ace. We're going to go and send 8 at lead. Feed him again. He's gonna, you know, delicious, feed the law, feeding the law. He's so excited to get snacks. Gonna go ahead and slap that ace down, draw, gain a life, and then ace does have rush, but I say, you know what? You've had enough to eat, my friend. No more snacks for you. I don't think I'm gonna feed you any longer. So I think probably just gonna end up passing here. Yep, and we just give him the pass. Say, you know what? I've already fed you enough, right? I gave you 2 cards last turn. I don't want to, you know, end up sending myself to an early grave here, giving him like 4 kitten killers out of life. So I just gonna go ahead and pass. And sitting at 9 Dawn again, this time with a blocker law as well as a law. He's kind of in this weird conundrum where I just keep setting him down to 1 or 2 characters, and he can't finish me because I'm Enel and I'm immortal. I am a god, and you know, Enel's always got that extra life that can come off the top every time he goes to 0, at least once per turn. He's going to get that extra life. So he does take the opponent 3 hits to kill me, right? So I am sitting pretty nice here, though I am a little afraid of rush threats here as we go into this. You know, potentially with 9 Dawn open, he could kitten killer, bottom deck kitten killer, right? That could be 7k, 7k, 8k, 5k, 5k, something like that. That is a lot of hits. I am only at 5 cards in life. He's going to go ahead and double. He's going to raise max, and I think that was double raise max my Yamato here. And Yamato is going to go ahead and potentially greet the bottom of my deck here, which takes me off a potential attacker. But again, I have another Rush Ace in hand, right? I keep seeing them; they keep coming out of nowhere. And Rush Ace is such a nice addition to the deck, giving you a little bit of like rush at the end of the game, also healing, right? It's nice that almost all of Katakuri's plays can you know, late or Enel's plays late in the game. Ace can kill something, Yamato can potentially kill something, and then Katakuri can just get rid of annoyance, right? Katakuri doesn't heal you though, but he does get rid of pretty large annoyances like Gecko. He's gonna go ahead and send a bajillion at Katakuri here, and I'm just gonna counter out of that. That's I think that was a bajillion Dawn, and then he's gonna -3 and play out a Zoro Juro again. I wanted to save my Katakuri just because I knew that Yamato was going to be going down. We potentially could have seen a play where he instead played the raise maxes last, so I wouldn't have known that the Yamato was also going to go, right? And then I potentially would have been more willing to let him, you know, kill the Katakuri, so I would have potentially had 2 less things on board. We're going to send a 5 at lead here. He's got 2 cards in hand, right? I could get a 2k. Ooh, get a 2k out of hand. That's a piece of candy. Good stuff. I love when I swing 5k and I get a 2k out of hand. We're going to send 8 at lead here. Getting 1 card in hand. He's going to go potentially go ahead and take it. Yep. And then I think we're going to feed him another time. So we're going to go ahead and send 8 at lead here again. Potentially defeat him that Bon Clay again. Bon Clay doesn't have rush, so I'm not too afraid of Bon Clay if I'm going to try to go for a kill. He's going to go ahead and block with Law, and then I'm going to feed him one more time. And now I really do not want to give him that kid blocker, so I'm just going to play the ace out. The ace is going to heal me, and then I'm just going to pass the turn. No more eating for you, my friend. We're gonna save you one more turn before we let you eat anymore. You know, potentially if he, you know, saw the kid being a blocker as well as just a few other plays. Just another annoying thing that I have to get through, though. I'm pretty sure this game is pretty much over, regardless if I gave him the kid or not. It just depends what he sees here. He could develop a few blockers, but again, I have so many large attackers that it really just doesn't matter. I've successfully starved out Law at this point. I'm not sure what else Law could do, especially facing me with two life here. And he's going to go ahead and send 5 at lead here. I do have 3 cards in hand. Don't potentially want to give them up. Oh, I will give him an Onami. Just kind of pour a little salt in the wound here, as this game is pretty much over at this point. Gonna go ahead and tap 5 and play out. It looks like a queen. Right, queen's gonna -1 Dawn, draw him 2 cards. Try to find him, you know, 2 Rage Juice, 2 Kitten Killers, something he can work with to try to either fill his hand or build up a board here. But this is not looking too good for the red purple Law player. Opponent deciding what card they want to discard. Zoro is gone. One Zoro, rush Zoro down. Happy days for me, as he potentially had that in hand this whole time and could have sprung that trap on me at any point, but decided to hold off. Thinking here, oh yeah, red purple Law got banned today, didn't it? Yep. Nice. I don't have too many thoughts. I'm not going to use thoughts, at least potentially for this video. I might make a shorter video just talking about my thoughts about the bans. But yeah, rest in peace, red purple Law. He's leaving at least the Japanese meta at the start of 09, but I don't know about us. So love the deck, fun deck, but a very, very good deck, and it gets even better next set. You can blame Black Maria for that one. He's gonna so he plays the Zoro, plays Reiju, builds up a little bit of card advantage, but again, look at my board. I've got so many attackers here, and I just ripped a Kingdom Come off the top that says goodbye blocker, right? I'm gonna blow up your blocker. You know what? I'm at 2 life. I don't care. I'll trash that life. Give no craps, right? It's Ganatsu. Who cares? It's not a trigger, not a Nami. I don't care. All right. And we're gonna go ahead and send 9 Elite here, trying to put the nails in the coffin here, as he does have 4 cards in hand. I think for memes he's gonna potentially counter out of it. Yep, for memes he goes 10k, counters out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and swing 8, and then we're gonna send 10 that and finish the game. And that is the red purple LOL matchup in a nutshell. That's typically what we're looking to do when we play into red purple LOL. But that is me 3-0 with round 3, and we'll see you in the next video. See who we fight in the finals.